is currently doing. As we still say that it is militarization of the Nairobi County, well, it's neither here nor there, provided we benefit as Kenyans from the services of the Nairobi Metropolitan Service. Remember, this is a live interaction. Our website is still kbc.co.ke for details, just to catch up on the stories that we have highlighted for you. All of them are available there, and we welcome your feedback. In our interactive segment right now, when we engage in newsmakers, we're also going to be talking about nutrition, diet and nutrition, and how that impacts on your health at a time when your immunity is very key in light of COVID-19. So do keep it right here.
Well, time for our first conversation of the day this early Tuesday morning at 15 minutes past 8 a.m. We want to talk about matters fashion, specifically the fashion industry here in Kenya, where it's headed. Do we even take it seriously? And also how young women can be able to thrive in business, specifically when it comes to matters fashion. Joining me on set is Damaris Kamanu, the CEO of Vibrant Fashions. She'll be helping us understand more about that specific industry and also what she does as a person. Damaris, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing this morning?
I am well.
You have a lot of energy.
Yes, sure.
All right, we'll just try to get your sound in a bit. But like I mentioned to you, our viewers, our focus this morning will be on matters fashion. We want to talk about the fashion industry in this country. First of all, do we take the fashion industry seriously? When you look at countries in the West or even the first world countries probably in Europe or US, matters fashion are normally taken seriously. Young children, even young adults, are taken to school to study fashion. But when it comes to Africa, how serious do we take this industry? Is it more of an escape plan, more of a side hustle? Just with what regard do we carry this industry? This is what you're about to find out in just a bit from our guest who has joined us in studio this early morning. She will also be telling us about her own business, her own fashion business, what necessitated her coming up with that kind of business. This is when it comes to intimate wear, which is her focus. She'll be telling us more about that. And also one key and very important factor is how we can be able to get into business. And this is specifically even just for young men as well as young women, how we can be able to get into the fashion business. What are some of the things we need to do? What are some of the ideas we can be able to have? This is when you want to get into the fashion world or even the fashion business. And also she'll really be targeting young women, because she also has a project when it comes to matters young women, and this is in regards to at least equipping them with skills. So what we'll be getting to find from Damaris is which kind of skills are this that she equips young women with to be able to know how they can get into business and how they can thrive into business. Oftentimes when you talk about getting into business, getting into matters business, you always have that mind and mentality that sometimes it's difficult because either I don't have enough capital, or how do I start? I don't have the skills. What I went to school to study is not what I really want to probably do when it comes to matters business. So this is what she'll be helping us just understand more about what kind of skills are this that she is equipping young adults with, specifically young women with. And also, so far, how many young women has she touched? How many young women has she equipped with this skill? So Damaris, yes. Good morning again.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very fine. Yes. And I was just saying earlier on before, we're trying to get your son, is that you really have a lot of energy. Is it a thing for people in the fashion business and fashion world?
Yeah, I woke up with a lot of energy.
I feel like your energy is sort of unmatched.
It does.
It does. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, let's come to your business, Vibrant Fashion, just for the benefit of our viewers, before we get into detail and the in-depth of fashion industry in this country. Make us understand Vibrant Fashions. What is it? What does it do?
Okay. Vibrant Fashions is an intimate wear shop. It deals with pajamas, panties, bras, body shapers. Initially, Vibrant Fashions began as a jewelry store. Then along the way, I realized...
So it was before clothes
came into place. It was before clothes.
Okay.
It was actually a jewelry store. Then it was doing well. Then at one moment, it stagnated. So I realized there was a gap in the intimate wear. I did my research before. Then I realized there was a very big gap. People were afraid of intimate wears, especially in Africa. It sounds like a taboo when
People
you talk about these
afraid of
things.
intimate wear.
Yeah, sure.
That's interesting. You'll tell us about that.
Yes, people were really afraid. So I started intimate wears slowly. I started with pajamas. I started with bras, panties. Then with time, I advanced to shapers. It's doing well. So far, so good.
Now, Damaris, when you say that there was a gap you spotted before you began your intimate wear, because you could have gone to any other thing.
Yeah,
you could
sure.
have gone to dresses, you could have gone to even shoes. There's so much when it comes to fashion. So when you talk about this gap that you spotted, is it that many shops didn't have these commodities, or what exactly do you mean when you say that gaps were spotted?
I realized that there was a very big gap in terms of people never used to sell intimate wears. Actually, when you go online, actually if you do your research, I was among the first people who started marketing online.
Wow.
And
when it comes to intimate
when
wear.
it comes to intimate wear, people were very scared. And actually, this is something that we usually use every day. You see?
And everyone has
And
to
everyone
have them
has
and
to, yeah.
use them.
I actually wanted to make people feel comfortable. I wanted them to understand that it's okay to wear intimate wears and buy them over the counter, though people are still shy.
Yeah, and actually sometimes you get to notice that by the way, when you go to the shop and even when you want to buy a dress, sometimes you don't even want to buy a dress.
Yes.
You want to buy either it's an underwear or a bra, but you'll just like cover it. No, give me that dress.
Give me that dress. I've seen that
Yeah,
before.
you've also seen
I've
that.
seen that before.
Okay, now when you said that it was like an African taboo for even people to purchase this, what gives you that mentality, saying that it's something that you have to wear, you must have it? Yeah.
I've seen that over the counter. You know, I'm not just saying that. I've seen people complain. I've seen most of the people are very shy. They can't come and purchase something. So most of the people tend to ask for deliveries. They are very shy. Yeah.
So someone will do it via online.
Via online.
And
The people who can stand over the counter are still very few, but people are coming out.
Because how then do you stand and start trying to show, okay, this fits me.
Yeah, I know.
This doesn't fit me.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm also seeing that you've shifted a bit of your focus to plus size women.
Yeah, plus
and
size.
and men. I think, and what I love about that is that it's not just women, because oftentimes when you talk about plus size and getting commodities, it's always plus size women. Sometimes you tend to forget the men.
The men, yeah.
Tell us about that.
I decided to do plus size because most of the time we purchase our products from different countries, and we realized when the fits come in, they don't target the plus size men and women. So we went outside there, we sourced, we actually even custom make things for custom made men and women these days. Yeah.
So it's for both men and women.
Yeah, but initially it was very, very difficult.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have to custom make them for yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means you can't even ship them to the
You
country.
can't ship them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is still for the intimate wear?
Yeah, for the intimate wears, the vest, the everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what else does Damaris do outside Vibrant Fashion?
What we do outside Vibrant Fashions is a different kind of store. Ask me why. This is
Okay,
because
tell us why.
this is because we just don't sell products to benefit ourselves. We tend to give back to the community every once in a while. Okay, right now we're having COVID, but initially we could give our products out maybe during April holidays, August holidays.
That means you're giving them for free?
Yeah, we give them out for free,
Wow.
especially to the needy.
Wow.
We tend to do different things every August holiday, every April holiday, and every December holiday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at least you make sure that you can also have a chance to give back.
Yeah, we give back to the community.
And this is again just for free.
Just for free. So when you buy at Vibrant, you're not just buying to benefit us, you're buying to benefit a needy child outside there. We tend to buy shoes, socks. We also give the things that we are selling, underwears, panties. These are things that people have underrated. Sometimes we even give out pads to the young ladies in the slums.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really interesting. Damaris, just seeing and hearing what you do, which is not what you would see many people do, especially in the fashion business and even in the fashion world, given that it's one of those businesses that are quite difficult to venture into. But for you, what made you feel like, I want to do something extra? I want to do something more than just selling my products.
What made me do something extra was initially when I began this, you see, I studied business management. Then after that, I specialized in HR. So I could realize there were a lot of like a lot of gaps in between. So I decided after, like most of the time when we go to community work, we used to do community work in my workplace. So when we go, I used to realize...
That was when you were in employment?
Yeah, when I was in employment.
Before you got into your business?
Before I got into my business. So I realized there's so many needy people in the society, and I would want to begin something that is different from what everybody does. You've realized, like, when everybody begins a business, they want to begin a business to either build a big house. We all have that.
Yeah. I want this business to expand. Before I think of whether I can help a neighbor here, first of all, let me establish myself as a person. But for you, it's different.
It's different.
Okay. So it was more of you spotting the need that many people were needy, and you felt the need to want to help them. So how has this project been coming along?
It's been coming along very well. Of late, I've even been finding customers who tend to even give more than what they're meant to pay for. Probably somebody is meant to pay for 1,000 and they're like, we saw what you're doing, so we can add up to something. So you can add up and help somebody else.
Okay. Now, when you talk about helping the needy and people in our community, which is your target people? Because when you talk about needy people, sometimes there are young girls who even lack the parts. Sometimes there's people who don't even have food in different parts of the country. So which is your target?
My young girls.
Young girls.
Young girls.
Specifically just young girls.
Young girls. I also help young kids, but young girls is my target because I'm a lady myself, you see. I want to empower more ladies for them to come up and not be ashamed in the society, you know.
When you say ashamed not in the society, in what capacity?
In what capacity? In terms of, you see, like most of the time, us young girls outside, they have needs that are unmet. They can't even speak up to bigger people. You see, when you're a young person and you go outside to the field and you're giving out maybe probably this product, so many issues come out. You even find the girls talking to you. They tell you their needs. And most of these needs, they can't even tell to their parents or to their guardians. So this is where it all began.
So this is why you're targeting young girls?
Yeah, that's why I'm targeting young girls.
How many have you so far?
So far, let's say 100.
Wow.
100, yeah,
That
so
is
far.
100 girls so far.
Yeah, so far.
That's quite a significant number.
Yeah.
And this is here in Nairobi?
This is here in Nairobi.
So are you planning to expand your boundaries, probably going to different parts of the country, different counties to do the same?
Yeah, probably. We're going to open up with time as Vibrant grows too.
As Vibrant grows too.
Yeah.
And what about the girls in the informal setups? Because every time when you talk about either young girls or even young men, the needy, it is mostly centered even for those in the informal settlements because they're the ones who can't even afford this intimate wear which you're selling. Some have to repeat them.
Yeah, I know.
You know, some can't even afford this part. So have you targeted these ones as well?
Yes, I'm actually targeting the informal ones as much as I'm targeting the people in the formal sectors. Yeah, I'm also talking to these ones because even they don't have exposure. They don't have exposure, so it's easy even to go to the mashinani and talk to them. Yeah, I'm targeting them
because
too.
they don't have that enough
It's
exposure.
really hard for them.
You're saying it with a lot of compassion that, you know, something needs to be done probably. What do you think needs to be done except just for you as a single person trying to help?
I think so many other entrepreneurs or young ladies should come up and help these people. They should target the need in the society and help them out. It's not what we see. You have to go there and see what they are going through for you to be able to probably help out.
For you to really be able to help out, you have to be there to see what they are going through, to also know of what kind of assistance you're going to give.
Yeah.
So this is what you do as Damaris aside from Vibrant.
Aside from Vibrant.
It's
Yes.
also part of what you love to do.
Yes.
So do you do this as just a person, or you also have a team that helps you?
Right now, I'm actually doing it as a person and as a team, but not a very huge team. We're just working as Vibrant Fashions, the employees. We have a small team to start with.
It's a small team, but at least you're starting. But at least you're doing something besides just your love and passion. But Damaris, you said something which is very interesting, that you are doing business management, you are in an employment setup before you moved to business.
Before I moved to business.
How was that transition before you get to, again, the business itself?
The transition was very hard.
Because right now when you are in employment, I mean, you just can't leave your job.
I know. It was very hard when I began, but later on, I like the freedom that comes with it. But there are also unseen challenges. You know, when you're in the employment industry, you have different perspectives. When you actually go to being an employer, it's not as easy. There are unforeseen challenges, things that you never expected, but with it comes with great freedom. You're able to expand your ideas. Yeah.
So does that mean that fashion was an area you wanted to get into in as much as you're in employment?
Yes. When I was working, I used to go and shop some products downtown. Then I come and sell them out.
Okay. All right. Now, for you, you've been at least in the fashion doing for 2 years, I want to believe. Is it 2 years?
It's
or more?
7.
Wow, it's 7.
7 years. Not 2.
Wow.
Yes.
How has that been?
It's been
That is
awesome.
a long time to be in
It's been awesome. You grow every day because there are new trends in fashion. There are new things. Every time you need to keep adjusting.
You need to keep adjusting. So, and also what I know is that you're both online and offline.
Yes.
How is it being on both entities?
It's very good, but of late, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we've been trying to encourage more of online to stop people from crowding at the shop. You see, we are taking some precaution measures, so we've been encouraging people to actually order stuff online. But if you need to come to the shop, they're also welcome.
Speaking of those that order stuff online, have you had to be in that situation where someone orders something and they don't even pay for it? How do you go about it?
Yes, it happens so many times. It happens. Those are the challenges that come along with selling goods online. Sometimes you're even prone to thieves. You're prone to people who take products and they refuse to pay.
Yes, keep going.
And they refuse to pay at all. Yeah, so what we do, you just make sure before the customer takes the product, we have different ways of paying. So you make sure they pay, then you release the product.
So first of all, they pay, then you release the product.
Yeah, initially we used to give the products out, then we wait for the customer to pay.
But then there's that customer who will say, if I'm paying, how sure am I will get this product? How do you go about that?
Yeah, I've had people say that. So what we do, we've come up with methods. We've come up with probably even photographs. Like, for example, if you're about to send a product to a very, very, very far place, let's say like Kisumu or something. So what you do, you make sure you send a photo to the client, maybe something you send to somebody else, so they're able to gain your trust. Yeah.
So they're able to gain your trust, at least to be able to know how they can be able to.
Yeah, you send photos of the parcel, the photos of the receipt. Then we also have payments methods that require a lot of, do I call it, what do you call this? That require a lot of...
Which payment method?
Payments methods like Lipa na M-Pesa. So you know they have to vet. They have to vet your shop.
So you have to, now you'll be sure at least.
Yeah, you'll be sure like we are not thieves.
Okay.
Most of the thieves online don't have even payment methods. They ask you to send money to their phone.
Yeah. And how about the offline? I mean, just as you're telling us how you compare your online and offline, which one would you say brings in more business? Is it the online one? Is it the offline one?
I can say they're 50-50. Because most of the time you'll find a person who was passing by, then they happen to see a product. They passed by. It's a good experience.
It's a good experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for the benefit of our viewers to be able to understand what you're talking about, is that I'm still speaking to Damaris Kamanu, who is the CEO of Vibrant Fashions, telling us about her own business and also what she is doing for the community at large, also helping us understand about the fashion industry here in the country and where it's going. Now, Damaris, coming back to you, had said that you've been in the business for 7 years.
7 years.
For 7 years now. Just aside from the issue of online, which you've talked about extensively, which other challenges come with being in the fashion business?
There's so many challenges that come along. Most of the time, being able to transition, it's very hard to be able to transition into new products, because probably you've brought a product that people are used to, you sell it, then all of a sudden the product stagnates. That is one of the challenges that we experience in the fashion industry. Secondly, probably lack of enough finances. At times, you require a lot of finances because you have to please every client. Every client has a different...
Quite possible.
Yeah, every client has a different taste. Yeah. So you have to have a lot of money so that you're able to bring in more products and customers are able to keep coming in. Yeah.
When you say lack of finances, and which has been a challenge at least for you, so when you're beginning, who were your biggest financials?
My biggest financials were maybe my parents. My parents, my dad, my mom. They really supported me.
So that means your parents and your folks really supported what you wanted to do?
Yeah, they really supported what I wanted to do. They're actually all entrepreneurs. So when I wanted to venture into it, they were in for it.
Then, you know, in that regard, then what are your thoughts concerning parents who don't think that fashion is the way to go, who just think that a child needs to be, or a young adult needs to be in employment, and if at all you are doing something like fashion, it has to be on the side.
As much as we're talking about the parents, we should also talk about the, what do I say, the kids probably, because you have to prove like this can work.
So you have to prove to them.
Yeah, you have to prove to them.
Sometimes you don't have that money to show them if I can. You know, sometimes you need that money to buy this product, and you really don't.
At times, the passion. I told you initially when I used to work in the employment industry, I used to go downtown, I buy some earrings, I come and sell them to some of my colleagues. So you see the passion, it began as a passion way before I needed money to finance my business. The passion has to be there.
So you have to show them that you know, this is something that I can do and can bring me income.
And can bring me income. And at times parents should allow their kids to just let them be, let them venture in what they can do, and let them see, give them time to come up and see if they're going to do it very well. Most of these people are very enclosed, so you end up killing a kid's talent.
All right, and aside from the online issue and even the issue of finances, just again for that benefit of viewer who's at home and wondering, I want to start a fashion business, which was the other thing that you went through that probably made you feel like, maybe I want to quit, but I just keep going because I love to do this thing?
Always, I would like to tell them probably to always have a bigger picture. See beyond what is there right now, because when you begin a business, it always has a lot of uncertainties. So just keep looking at the bigger picture, keep moving forward, keep having a vision, keep pushing it. Consistency is key.
And for you as a business person who's on both entities, both online and offline, what would you advocate for a young entrepreneur?
I would advocate for
online, offline.
Yeah, no, I would advocate for online. Ask me why, because
online.
Online, because most young people these days are always on their phones. So you can use that instead of chatting and making probably things that are not bringing any benefit to you. You can even market online, share in groups, keep sharing your products there. You can actually even get a potential client out of the online marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ideally you would say online is like the best place. But oftentimes there's that question of fraudsters, and people have really made online to look like not that quite to be trusted, especially for business entities. Sometimes there's so much fraud ongoing there. What would be your advice given that kind of situation?
I would advise the people who are selling online to be very key, be very open-minded, keep checking the accounts of the people who are marketing. You can always know an online fraudster most of the time.
Then how do you get to do that for me who's a buyer?
For you who's a buyer, first check the account of the person who's selling the product. You'll probably go through their profile and you'll realize, oh, this person is not legit in any way. They'll ask you to pay via their phone. That does not happen for any business and for any serious business person. You should have a payment method that works for your clients better. Because you know why? When you pay via the till, you're not able to reverse the money. But once they tell you to pay via the phone, they'll reverse that money in a few. Yeah, and most of the times, even go to the online pages and check the reviews.
And I was checking your online page, Vibrant Fashions, and I can clearly see the numbers there. So for you, can you say that being also online has helped your business grow? And if it has, in what capacity or in what way?
It has actually helped my business grow in a very huge way. I'm able to reach people in far ends of Kenya. I've sent products to Turkana, Mararal, most of the cities that I'll never reach on my own. Yeah, and I've had very good clients.
So and online has facilitated that.
It has facilitated that.
So what you're saying is that for a young business person, a young entrepreneur, or a young lady who wants to venture into the same, they can still be able to use that platform and just succeed as well.
Yes, they can succeed very well. Online people these days are online. Everybody is actually online.
Okay. Now, coming back to your story, you got an accident about 2 years ago. How was that like for you, and how did it affect your business?
Initially, it was very, very okay. This accident happened at a very weird time in my business. This is the time where I was making it, as in things were working out. I think this was the time that I was in my climax. Then all of a sudden, the accident happened. It was very hard, especially because I had to leave work for a duration of time, let's say around 6 months, because I had to do corrective surgeries and all. But later on, when I came back, I had a very different perspective. I was able to appreciate life more. I was able to take a day at a time, because most of the time it was very painful for me. You see, I'm having injuries.
Yeah, keep going.
At times it was very hard. So I learned to take a day at a time. I learned to interact with my customers in a better way. Sometimes a customer will come. Yes, they've come to buy a product, but you'll find a customer has a different challenge. Probably they can't walk. Probably they can't do stuff for themselves. I'm able to relate with them in a new level, you know. Yeah, it's not like before. Yeah.
So which accident was this? What really happened to you?
It was just one fine good morning. As I said, I was in the climax of my job. Everything was working out. I was looking forward to traveling. I needed to come and bring new stuff. Then, I was opening my door. The door came down on me, and it chopped off my right hand fingers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You're saying it with, so much, it's like you got over it already.
Yeah, I already got over it. With time, when things happen to you, you tend to choose how you take things. You can choose to stay there. You can choose to move on. For me, I chose to move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you've explained to us how it affected your business because then you couldn't be present at that time.
At that time, yeah.
So how was your business? How was the business running? At least for those who may always want to feel like I have to be present for my business, for it to go or to run. If I'm not there, then nothing can happen. So for you, how was it working?
This is where I discovered online marketing. This is where I learned how to market. I learned how to get
in that period when you couldn't.
In that period where I couldn't go to work. I also learned to talk to my team because we have a team at work. So I learned to communicate with them. We even made a group. We could communicate on things to do. And they even got a chance to learn because most of the time, probably employees tend to be codependent on you.
That you have to be there.
Yeah, so no, they also grew on their own, and I was able to still facilitate my job. You can't tell a client I'm in hospital and the client needs a product.
So that means it's really important for someone to also invest in a team.
Yeah, you have to invest in a team, and not just a team. You also need to train a team because a team reflects an entrepreneur. It reflects your job. You can't always be present in your job, and delegating at times is hard, especially for employees. But I think we should learn to
invest in a team.
Yeah.
Because they come in handy.
It's
not
handy.
like a one-man show when it comes to business.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Now, you also said that in that time when, at least when you came back, you had learned something also to interact with your employees. When you talk about learning something new, what exactly do you mean? By learning something new, I think probably before the accident, I took things for granted. I took life for granted. Many other times you go to work in the morning, you come back in the evening. Business doesn't always work out every day. There are days you'll go, sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. There are days I used to complain, like I've been at work the whole day. I didn't make probably I have a target, so I didn't make that money. I used to really complain. But after the accident, actually when I was on my bed, in my surgery bed, I kept telling God, if you just give me another chance to go back to my workplace, I'll appreciate life more. Whether I have money or not, whether I have life or not, I'll tend to appreciate the lepers, the people on the roads, people who have struggles, the people who have different struggles, even mental struggles. I learn to, before even when I'm talking to my client, I learn to listen to them more. I try to understand where this person is coming from. You might find somebody wants to buy a product, and you find that a person is very bitter, and you don't know why they're very bitter. I've learned to show mercy. I've learned to be quiet. I like that part that, someone comes to buy a product and probably they're bitter and you show mercy.
Yeah.
So that means if someone comes to buy a product that they don't have money, will also be a bit compassionate?
Yeah, I'm very compassionate.
Wow.
Ask me why, because they can come back tomorrow.
Okay,
You never know. Probably you have to see a product. You have to see a product, then come back tomorrow. Yeah.
So at least it gave you a different perspective on how you view and see life. There's also something about stigmatization that I read on your profile. What was this that you learned about stigmatization, and which area had you been stigmatized?
Okay, I learned about stigmatization because I didn't know, for example, if you go through an accident, like right now, let's talk about maybe COVID, because it's around the COVID time. For me, when I got an accident, I thought it's just a normal accident and I can bounce back to work like
Very fast.
Like very fast. It didn't happen. So every time you'll go, somebody will tell you, probably you can't serve me because you don't have some of your fingers.
Wow, that happened to you?
Yes, so many times. And
Wow.
even now you can go towards, maybe you're working somewhere and people will just talk down on you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really interesting.
Yes.
So how did you then navigate that? How did you, because I mean, for a client to come to your shop, and again, also this is for the sake of our viewers who feel like, I can't walk, I'm on wheelchairs, I can't start a business, I can't do this. So for you, how did you able to get off from that? Because I can imagine if a client is coming and they tell you, you can't serve me because you don't have fingers. For someone, maybe they will tell them, you can't serve me because I don't think you can see well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So how then do you go about that?
First of all, okay, most of the time you have to like keep speaking to yourself a lot. Self-talk is very important. Your spirituality has to be here. Like keep communicating to God. Have a lot of faith, because at times it pushes you on the days that you can't move forward. And again, just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you do. And I think people will end up believing in you. Because now people these days, I can serve anybody regardless.
And they don't show you any of that.
You probably find one or two people who want to know what happened and how you're coping with it. But it's totally okay now.
But it's totally okay.
Yeah.
You at least accepted it and you're able to move forward.
Yes.
So also when you say that at least you help your clients get over stigma, is this also the same case scenario?
Yes, I also help them, because probably you're serving somebody and you find somebody wants to relate to you because of the fingers, you know. They'll tell you something happened to me in the past and whatever. So you see, you've gone through it, so you're able to help them out.
To help them out.
Yeah.
Right, that's really quite interesting. I'm Damaris, just seeing what you do, not just business at all, but also being there for the society, for the community, and also for your clients. Now let's come to the project that you are doing.
Okay.
Which project is this?
Right now, I'm having a project where every December, I've been collecting money. Every December, I want to find a needy person, a person who wants to travel somewhere, and I'm finding a destination for them.
Okay.
And I'll take them free of charge.
Wow, you do so many things. This is just besides fashion, besides business, besides community, also, you know, that new project.
Yes.
So how then do you get to, what is your criteria like for sourcing someone? Because someone might be watching and be wondering, I also feel like I want to be part of what Damaris is doing.
Yes. How I do this probably is through my online platforms. And sometimes I reach out to my friends, other fellow entrepreneurs, and I ask them maybe for some help. Then we like get a little bit here and there, and we make for them a good package. We source for a good company. Then we make for them a package. Like last year, we did Masai Mara. Yeah.
So that's also what you're doing,
Yeah.
and that's also part of your project.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to teaching and equipping young girls with skills, which skills are these that you teach and equip
Most
them?
of the times I teach young girls probably how even to thrive in business. Okay, I've done my mistakes before in business, and most of the time I've had to learn this. I've learned to outgo these mistakes when I'm in business. So I don't want them to go through the same mistakes. I keep teaching them. I read a lot of books. So I keep teaching them on how they can do business, how they can identify a potential seller, you know, like, and sometimes some few life skills.
How many girls are you currently?
So far, I don't have a lot. I only have 15 girls.
That's also quite a number,
Yeah,
because
that's
not so
quite a
many
number.
business people will be having,
Yeah.
you know, such kind of persons just to teach and train them.
Yeah.
You talked about mistakes that you've made in business, and this is also what you do not want them to go through or while they're starting their businesses. Which mistakes are this?
I've made several mistakes. At first, I feared a lot. At times when probably men come, you know, at times men don't believe in ladies. You see, at times somebody will come and they'll shout at you. They ask you.
This is a client, probably.
This is a client, and they'll come and probably tell you don't know what you're doing with your product and what. So I keep equipping them. I keep teaching them on how to know their product, so that when you get such a person, not just a man, any person who comes and looks down at you, You already know your product, so nobody can tell you nothing about it. But either way, we keep it open. We learn out of our customers, whatever they tell us. We encourage feedback.
You encourage feedback. So these at least are the skills that you equip them in to be able to know and learn how to probably do business.
Yeah, and thrive in business.
Okay, and again, there's also that question of capital, especially for young entrepreneurs. You've told us your story, but when it comes to these young girls that you're also teaching and equipping, have you had an instance where they will tell you that I don't have enough capital, I'm having this idea and my capital is limiting my idea? How do you go about that?
Yeah, I've heard of that several times. Probably somebody has a very great idea, but they don't have any financiers or investors in them. So I encourage them, like right now our banks are doing very well, and they are investing in SMEs, which are small business entrepreneurs. So at times I ask them, probably you can go approach a bank and tell them what you have, and they can help you out.
And they can help you out. And they feel confident to do that as well.
Yeah, they feel confident after the life skills, after talking to them. You know, it's not
and that's why it's important to equip them with those skills, to be able to know what to do and how to go about business. So what is your general feel concerning how we take fashion business and fashion industry here in Kenya?
How we take fashion? Okay, initially people didn't like fashion a lot, but with time I've seen
Why
people
do you think
like
they didn't like fashion a lot?
People didn't like fashion.
See how you're saying that? People just didn't like fashion.
Yes, especially when I began this. When I began this, you'll tell somebody about this. I also used to sell clothes at some point. You'll show somebody a cloth and they're like, I can't wear that. So with time, there's so many people coming up and there's so many different nice things in the country. So now people are embracing fashion very well. Yeah.
So,
and yes, and I would like maybe probably people to embrace it even more and use it to do greater things in the country.
So do you feel we take it as serious, especially as young adults and even for the young girls that you're training? Because oftentimes it's more of like a escape route. My career is not working. I can start something online. I can start by selling dresses. If it doesn't work, I'll go to shoes. If it doesn't work, I'll go to jewelry. Do we take it with the seriousness that it deserves?
People don't take it seriously. That's when I'll say, like, for sure, for real. People don't take fashion industry as serious as it should be taken. But with time, I think people should start embracing it and do more out of it.
So what can be done to take it a bit serious? Because earlier on, even when we were beginning, I was trying to give an example of how in the West they do it. You'll even see a young adult being taken to school to study it, to be able to learn how to go about it. But we don't see more of that in Africa and even here in Kenya. So what can be done to at least take it more serious, like just any other business or any other career?
I think we should acquire more skills. There's so much to learn online these days. You can go online. There are online classes. People should keep studying. People should stop stagnating, look for different fashion industries, look for mentors, people who've gone ahead of you, what they've done about it. Not only in Kenya, I've seen even mentors who come from Dubai to Kenya. We've had expos in Kenya actually for fashion. People should actually visit them and see what people are doing with the fashion and beauty industry. It's actually doing very well in other countries.
In other countries, It's unlike what is happening probably in Africa and even in Kenya. You said something very important, that people should also be able to seek and get mentors who can lead and guide them through. Did you have that?
Yes, I had a mentor. Initially, when I began this, as I said, my parents were very supportive when I began my business. There are times I could be paid for some expos. I've gone for several expos in Dubai, in China. So when you go there, you'll actually realize the oomph that people have for the beauty and fashion industry and how much money they are making out of this. We are still far much behind in Kenya.
We are still far much
behind.
And this is because you also do not get time to get those skills.
Skills.
All right. And even when you talk about getting those skills per se, who can we attribute this to? Is it that person who wants to start the business who's not into getting the skills? Is it that we don't have enough avenues for them to acquire these skills? Where is the missing link?
I think we don't have enough avenues. And as you said, people are not taking fashion industry seriously. And it's actually generating so much money in the countries, in most of these countries. Because you'll even find, like, in most of these countries, they're even making their products there. So as Kenya, we should also try and make different
our
things.
products.
Yeah.
Are you making Kenyan products? You that you're saying that we should start making, or you're just importing, because you have to start with you.
I'm currently importing, but I'll go that
So
way.
you're also one of those fashionistas who say we need to buy Kenya, build Kenya, but you're not doing any of that.
We've not done any of that.
Again, also, is that also a problem? Because you keep saying that we need to take it seriously. We need to be able to buy Kenya, build Kenya, but you're not doing really that. We are more of importing. Yesterday, we had a conversation around the second-hand clothes, mitumba clothes, and people are saying we need to get those clothes. They're much cheaper. So how then can we grow our industry if you're not buying our own?
I know. We've been doing that, and I think we should change. We should all change, and
We should all change.
and buy our own.
And make and build our own.
Yeah.
Now let's come to as we just bring it to a close, to COVID-19 and how it has affected your business, if it has, because COVID has affected so many business sectors, so many business entities, especially for even entrepreneurs. How has it been on your side?
It was okay. It has been very, very, very hard of late. The sales are not like before. The sales are not like before. We used to get a lot of customers out of it, but right now people are even fearing. You'll see most of the people ask for online deliveries. They don't want to come to the shop. The sales are equally very low as compared to some months before. Yeah, but I think we shall. So are you one of those CEOs and business owners who have retained your employees? Because then again, also many people have lost jobs. Yes, I've seen that. Most of the people have lost jobs, but I've tried to retain my employees. You just come up with a different strategy, probably cut their pay a little bit, as long as they are able to earn. Yeah.
So at least you've maintained
I've
all
maintained
of them.
all of them. Yeah.
And you've said, how have you managed to be able to do that? Is it by cutting a bit of their
Yeah,
pay?
you cut a little bit
How
of
have
their
they taken
salary.
it?
At first, they took it very positively, because before you do this, you also have to communicate to them, because they also have needs. They also have their own families to take care of. But it's better than none. It's better than retrenching them, you know.
So probably what can be your word for other employers, because there are those who have gone to the extent of completely laying them off, and sometimes it's quite understandable.
Yes.
What kind of strategy did you have as an employer to be able to sustain them? Because also then giving half is not quite easy.
It's not quite easy. But you see, every employer has their own every employer has their own challenges that come around during these times. You may not know anybody, you may not know why they're struggling or what is happening with them. But I think at times it's easier to maintain them, because these people have families. They have people to feed. They also have their own needs. So if it's possible, you can retain them. If it's not possible.
Now, specifically for you, for the benefit of those entrepreneurs out there who may also want to understand how to deal with such pandemics, if at all they come probably in the near future, what was your strategy for maintaining your employees in such a difficult time when people are losing jobs?
Yeah, I know people are losing jobs, but what we tended to do, we increased people who are marketing online. We actually have other employees who market online, like that's their job. So we've increased our sales online so that we're able to maintain everybody. Yeah.
Okay, you've increased your sales online.
Yeah.
Now, finally, Damaris, what is the future of vibrant fashion, probably in the next 5, 6, 7 years? Where are you seeing it?
I see Vibrant as a very big shop, of course. We want to open different branches, probably in different towns in Kenya. People have been requesting for Vibrant in Mombasa, everywhere. So we're looking forward to opening new branches.
So that means that it's only in Nairobi where you have a physical shop.
Yeah.
And now you're planning to at least expand your boundaries in different parts of the country, in different areas. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you so much, Damaris, for your input there. I've been speaking to Damaris Kamanu, CEO of Vibrant Fashions. Ray, just before we wrap it up, when it comes to matters fashion industry, whether or not we take it seriously, what would you have for Damaris?
Actually, I have a couple of questions for her, and because she said she totally deals, with clothes that personal, what we call the clothes underneath. People don't like talking about that, especially where women are concerned. So since you're dealing with an online platform, I'd want to understand then, when you're pitching your products, then if someone is interested, then how would they know? Like, for example, like a body shaper, how would I know that this is the right size? And if you're doing your deliveries, whether I've paid on a till or not, is there an opportunity for me to fit? We always have that issue, especially on online, that it is what you buy is what you get, and if it doesn't fit, we do not have any exchanges. I mean, Damaris, maybe you can help me understand that.
Yeah, it happens like that because most of the time when you're dealing with intimate wears are very delicate, and you don't want to keep trying them on everybody. So what we do is we advise you on your specific body size, and we advise you on the body shaper that is going to work for you. And probably at times we even work with photos if you're not able to come physically to the shop. And most of the time we give you, not even most of the time, we're able to give you the correct size. Yeah.
But women are struggling with, how they look. The look is everything for a woman, You have to sell it at the first glance. That's what we say. There's a myth about waist training. And waist trainers are part of those intimate clothes. For someone who's dealt with such, is the myth true? Does it really, does it work? Or is it just a figment of our wishes and desires as women?
For body shapers, or how they work is, body shapers work if they are incorporated with a good diet, and if they're incorporated with a good diet and a good exercise regime. So most of the time people just want to buy a shaper and get a good right shape, and that's it. It doesn't work that way.
Thank you for that, because there's that perception that all I need is just that particular belt, that body shaper, that waist trainer, and I am good to go. So I also have to watch what I am eating and exercising. It doesn't happen instantly. Why? I thought it would work.
It doesn't happen instantly.
No, especially for women who've just given birth and they want to get back, their hourglass kind of shape. They're told to tie their stomachs, so that, because of the, the distended stomach during pregnancy and such. Are you saying it doesn't work? Women have really shopped for things that don't work and spent a lot of money.
No, it works. What we are saying is it works, but it has to be incorporated with a good diet and an exercise regime. You have to work out. You have to eat well for you to get the results.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, we're also seeing a trend in intimacy type of clothes, because this is Africa, and women are obsessed with the curves, So we're finding some shorts that have come into the market that women are wearing underneath their clothes. It has brought a lot of controversy, because there's some who tend to think that we are taking it a step a bit too far, in as far as how women after the look. What is your take for someone who's already dealing in this business? What's your take about this? Is there an ethical fine line when it comes to fashion?
When it comes to fashion, for me, I've seen very many clients who purchase these things. So you might not know it because probably this is just underneath the clothes or something. But I think every lady is beautiful, with or without the shapers. But if you feel good in the additions or in the enhancement, then why not do it? If it makes you feel good, then wear it.
But you see, especially the men are the ones who say women are doing fake lashes, women are doing fake hair, we have fake nails, we have fake boobs, we have now even the fake bottoms, and they feel as if we are taking it a step a little bit too far in as far as fashion is concerned. Yes, I feel good, but maybe my partner feels as if I'm lying, and that the image is not who I am. Have you ever had an incident maybe of a customer who looked too good in that particular outfit that they bought, but they said that they had, it was looking too good, but in reality, the reality was not at par, and the reception that they got?
Yes, I've had several clients complain about that. So probably maybe your spouse doesn't like it when you're wearing it and when you're not having it. But what I encourage ladies, like I said, if you feel good in it, if it makes you feel beautiful, if it changes how you feel about yourself, then go for it.
Doreen, what do you think about enhancements?
You've just said when you're asking Damaris concerning whether or not this is in regards to working out on the body shapers, and look like you're really avoiding the workout so as to get body shapers, Regina. But I think what Damaris is saying is really true, that it has to go in line. It's still the same. You have to ensure that at least you exercise and you work your body. So probably, Damaris, have you had such clients, probably like those of the mindset that I really don't think it's necessary and important for me to be able to work out and exercise. I just need to get these products and I'll be good to go.
Yes, I've had most of the clients actually purchase, and most of the time, shapers are very, very expensive. So you'll find somebody who purchases a shaper and they want instant results. And if it doesn't work out, they become very bitter. But it's very important to let you know before you buy this product, have a good diet, exercise.
Damaris,
let
me still take you back about our physical appearance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have in the market something that they term as liposuction.
Yes.
And women are buying into that idea in droves. From where you sit, what do you think?
What I think is liposuction is also a good. It's also a good idea for a person who can afford it, because especially in Kenya, people have not really embraced this because it's quite pricey, it's quite expensive. But this can be a good alternative from the shaper because it actually does the work for you. Yeah.
Now let's go back to the plus size woman. Most often than not, clothes that are available there tend to go to the smaller sizes, a size 6, 8, 10.
Yes.
But plus size women, and I see we fall into that category, you and I, we find it very difficult to have that particular design or a dress that fits well. If it fits the top, it doesn't fit the bottom. If it fits the bottom, it doesn't exactly fit the top. How are we going to deal with this, and how is the fashion industry actually dealing with this issue? Because there's a misnomer there. A size 14, 16, 18, 20, these are rare. How is the industry changing to fit the plus size woman?
For Vibrant, initially when we began, we used to deal with us small ladies. But as time advanced, we realized there was a very big gap with the plus size women. So we tended to custom make. These days we are custom making products for bigger women. So we have especially you tend to see like women are left out of the fancy beautiful things. When you're a plus size woman, you should get something that doesn't look very beautiful. So we are trying to work on that. We're having very beautiful outfits and lingeries coming up for the plus size women. Yes.
Okay. So that still one more. It seems I have a knack for fashion, and especially dealing with issues of plus size is quite a problem. Especially now we're talking about intimate wear. Women are obsessed with having, matching intimate wear, and we often find that there's not so much to pick from, especially from the plus size, for the plus size woman. And there's always been a question then, how would I know what fits me right? If it's the top or the bottom? How do we measure? Like, if I'm supposed to measure, do you measure? What do you expect? And when you're going out to buy, what should you look out for?
This goes out to the supplier most of the time. You see, for us, when we order these products, wherever we are in the country of origin, most of the time when you order your products, you should specify that you're buying products for African type of women, because we all got different genes, we all got different body sizes. But for us Africans, we tend to be bigger on the bottom or bigger on the top, so we specify on that. So when you come to Vibrant Fashions, you'll get something that fits the plus size women too.
Okay, now when you talked about the plus size women, so that means when you say you custom make them, so that means you don't import these products.
We import them, but you custom make them there. You go to industries yourself. You go there, then you tell them, this is what I want my country women look like this. You actually even carry photos with you. Yeah, you custom make them.
How they look like.
Yes.
To be able to get the right size for them. Yeah. And is this for both men and women?
For both men and women. We had a problem with ladies, because most of the time if they make a big, let's say for example a big bra, the panty happens to be small. So this is what we try to work on first. For men too.
for men too.
Yes.
So at least that vibrant fashion is not just for women alone, only from the or for the plus size women, but you cater for even the men, which is also not what we see oftentimes when you talk about plus size.
Yes.
Okay. Ray, as we bring it to a close, anything extra you have for Damaris?
I just hope that in future plus size is going to be the norm, because I mean let's be very honest. This is Africa, and the men and women in Africa totally differ from the men and women in Asia, and I tend to think we import a lot from Asia. It's the high time that Africa, the fashion industry, embraced its own in terms of sizes, and that just doesn't go to for intimate wears. I'm looking even at shoes. You'll find there are very many dainty small shoes, very 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 pretty, but if you're doing a size 7, 8, well, you might not get that particular, design in that shoe. So I hope that the fashion industry, especially in Africa, and more yet, looking at the local scene, that we can accommodate, our African physique. And it's about time, the president made that directive that Fridays is when we get to wear African outfits. So I'll be waiting to see how Damaris and your people are going to really, incorporate, African trends and make them the new norm. I enjoy what I see in Ghana. I enjoy what I see in Nigeria and also Uganda. They have ceremonial outfits, and I remember back in the day, Kenya came up with a national outfit, national wear. But have you ever seen anyone wear it, even in a ceremony? I don't know. Was that just an effort in, a move in futility that did not really meet its objectives? I don't know. So my expectations is that the fashion industry adopts to us, the primary target, and especially for women in the plus size cadre. We are suffering, Damaris.